In this video, we're going to talk about two matches from the French Open. First, we'll talk about the Robin Soderling Roger Federer match from today. Huge upset, Soderling over Federer in 4 sets. And then we'll preview tomorrow's match between Rafael Nadal and Nicolas Almagro. Now, Soderling's strategy in achieving this huge upset, breaking Federer's consecutive semifinals reached at the majors, he stopped him at 23. Well, his strategy was to go for broke. Anytime Soderling had a look, he went for a big shot. And he came out on top. That strategy worked. Very similar to the strategy he used against Nadal last year, and we'll touch on that a little bit later on. But Soderling hit big off the forehand. He hit big off the backhand. He served huge. His first serve was averaging around 130 miles an hour. Second serve was at about 108 miles an hour. And on returns, when he had an opportunity to swing away, he was doing that as well. There were a couple of first serves Fed got in that Soderling absolutely punished. So Soderling ended up 49 winners, 42 unforced errors, and that stat line, you might be thinking to yourself, well, 42 unforced errors, that's not great. Well, what happened with that is that Soderling was simply playing the match on his terms. He said, I'm going to hit a winner, I'm going to hit an unforced error. Roger, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to be dictating play. You are not. You're essentially going to be sort of a spectator in what the type of game I'm trying to play. And that's very much what happened. Federer was simply overpowered. He was out-hit. He was hit off the court, any way you want to phrase it. And there wasn't really too much he could do. Soderling was either going to come up with the goods, which he did, or he wasn't. And on this particular day, he had the stuff. He played huge and was able to come out on top. I'm not really sure there was too much else Federer could have done. Now, Soderling was certainly helped to a degree by the conditions. In the preview video for this match, I said Soderling should be hoping for rain, and that's what happened. It rained a little bit intermittently over the course of the match, and there were a few stoppages of play. But what that did was it really slowed down the court. And you might be saying to yourself, well, wouldn't that play into Federer's hands a little bit? Slower court, it's going to dull Soderling's power. Well, it actually helps Soderling. If we put Robin up here, what it did, by slowing the ball down, it actually gave Soderling more time to set up for Fed's ground strokes. So on a faster court, let's say a grass court, for example, because Federer and Soderling played at Wimbledon last year. It was a close match. I mean, it was 3 sets, but a couple of those sets were real close. Well, Soderling on grass, where the ball is going to penetrate the court, didn't have as much time to set up, and he was going to be pressured on his technique a little bit more. Soderling's got long strokes, so if the ball's on top of him real quick, well, he's not going to be able to get his base set, get through his mechanics, and really go after the ball like he was doing today. Well, on the slower court where the ball sits up, so now Soderling has more time, and he was able to set up and just tee off on the ball, just destroy it. And that's why the conditions sort of played into what Soderling was trying to do. And Soderling was hitting so big that even though the ball was going to slow down, Soderling's ball was going to slow down when it bounced. Well, the ball had so much pace on it, it was still pressuring Federer. Still just hit with so much pace that, Fed couldn't do too much there. Now, this we'll talk about this a little bit more, assuming we get Soderling and Rafa in the final. I think that's what we're going to get, but it's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Still a lot of tennis to be played. I think Soderling has a great shot at beating Rafa. I actually think if Soderling, again, this is highly speculative at this point, if Soderling plays the way he played today and he meets Rafa in the final, Soderling's going to win. And that's somewhat of a bold prediction. Again, I picked Rafa at the start of the tournament, so I'm sort of backtracking, maybe not. Again, that's a big if, whether Soderling keeps up the level of play, whether he gets through Berdych, whether Rafa gets through Almagro and wins his semifinal match. A lot of variables in there, but we will address this scenario should we get it on Sunday. Now, if we transition to the Rafa Almagro final, we'll put Rafa up here, or quarterfinal. This, I think, I'm not sure how sort of interesting this match is going to be from a strategic standpoint. I think it's pretty straightforward. Almagro's a righty, so this would be a backhand, for Almagro, and I think you're going to see that strategy of Rafa just really using his lefty forehand to break down this shot. Now, the last time these two played in Madrid a couple weeks back, it went 3 sets. Almagro won the first 6-4, I believe, but after that, it was pretty much a beatdown. It was 2-2. So, Almagro hit some big backhands against Verdasco and played a nice match there. Verdasco is a lefty as well, so you're going to get that lefty forehand to righty backhand. But Verdasco's ball doesn't get as high in the strike zone, doesn't have as much action, it's not as heavy. Certainly a big forehand, but it's not the same as Rafa's. So I think Almagro's really going to have to, is first of all going to struggle with that shot and is really going to have to play aggressive tennis and be hitting his spots over the course of a 5-set match. I think past is going to be prologue. Rafa has won all 6 of their meetings. I don't expect that to change. And to beat someone like Rafa on clay, you need to kind of take the Soderling playbook from last year and just hit huge over the course of the match. Almagro's got some shots, but he doesn't have Soderling firepower. So I don't see him being able to first of all, blow Rafa off the court, or second of all, construct points where he's getting Rafa off the court. I don't think that's going to be a strategy he'll be able to implement effectively, so I expect Rafa to win this match. Now, with those 2 matches in mind, like I've talked about in previous videos, every day at 5 o'clock for the rest of the tournament, except for the final, we do a live webcast, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a lot of fun, and we give away a lot of free stuff. And that's where we recap, of course, live the day's results, and we're able to interact via chat box. So if you are available at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please tune in tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then on the final, the men's final, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please visit our website, fuzzyyellowballs.com, for a live broadcast over the course of the entire final. I'm going to be there with Ian Westerman of EssentialTennis.com. We've got him back for the French Open final. We had him for the Aussie Open final and the Miami final, and that, we'll be broadcasting for the duration of the final. And we had a great time the last time we did one of these webcasts. I'm expecting more of the same. So if you were watching the match on your television, please join us on the computer and certainly interact with the chat box, and you'll have an opportunity to win a bunch of cool prizes, including a tennis racket. So with that in mind, I'm going to sign off, but I look forward to seeing y'all in the subsequent webcasts and then on Final Sunday. So see you soon.
Did you know that there are only 5 simple things you need to do to have a textbook forehand like Roger Federer? If you click the link in the description of this video and visit our website, you'll learn why Federer's forehand is so good and how you can copy his technique. And this entire 45-minute lesson is 100% free. Join the thousands who have already learned what these 5 simple things are and take control of your forehand today.